You're right, Becky.
Right. Good morning, everybody. I'm just going to introduce the webcasting instructions, and then we'll go into introductions. I would like to remind everybody that this meeting will be filmed live or recorded and uploaded to the internet and will be capable of repeated viewing. Therefore, by participating in this meeting, you are consenting to being filmed and to the possible use of those images and sound recordings. If any publics on MS Teams do not wish to have their image captured, they should ensure that their video setting throughout the meeting is turned off and set to audio only. Members and public speakers are reminded to turn on their microphones before speaking and then turn them off when they are finished. Good morning, everybody. My name is Councillor Ian Allgood. I'm the chair for today's meeting. To my right is Councillor Sharif and Councillor Matthews. The webcasting officer is Rebecca, and to my left is the Legal Services, Lynn Ridley, and further to left is the Democratic Services, Teresa Larson. Today's meeting is to listen to the application for Pink Zebra of 6 to 7 Foxes Parade, Sturtson Road, Wolverham Abbey, Essex, EN9 1PH. If I could ask the licensing officer team to present the case, please.
Thank you, Chair. So James Webster has applied to the licensing office for Pink Zebra, address 6 to 7 Foxes Parade in Wolverham Abbey. The application was received on the 4th of July and seeks to vary the existing hours as follows. The recorded music, performance of dance and live music with an extension on the hours Friday to Saturday to 3:15 a.m, on Sunday until 2:30 a.m, late night refreshment and extension on Friday to Saturday of 2:45 a.m, and Sunday until 2 a.m. The sale of alcohol and extension on Monday to Thursday until 1 a.m, and then Friday to Saturday until 3 a.m, Sunday till 2 a.m. The hours of the premises is Monday to Thursday 11 a.m. to 1 a.m, Friday to Saturday 11 a.m. to 3:15, and then Sunday 11 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. There was a request for seasonal variations, but there was some confusion, so I'll let the applicant discuss that with you. When considering an application for a licence variation, the licensing authority must have regard to steps that are appropriate to promote the licensing objectives. These are the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, the prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. The consultation ran from the 5th of July to the 1st of August. All responsible authorities received a copy of the application. It was advertised at the premises and in the local newspaper. The authority has received one objection from the Council's Community Resilience team and one objection from Essex Police. All details are attached. In determining this application, the subcommittee may take any of the following steps as it considers necessary for the promotion of the licensing objectives, namely to either grant the variation as applied for, to modify the variation submitted, or to reject the whole or part of the application. Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Webster, would you like to present your case?
What?
Would you just like to offer the rationale to why you're having the application?
I need it to keep the business going with all of the late licences around me. It's a very difficult place to keep open, really. I haven't made no money in 3 years. Now, this will help because of the local pubs and that. They've got 1 o'clock licence. The place next to me, the restaurant, that's got a 2:30 licence. So it's difficult for me to take the business away from them and get them into the club. So I try to get birthdays, like hen nights, christenings, things like that, to make that place work. And it'll help if I could be a bit later as well, because of the late licences around me. Every time I've had a tens, it's been good, no trouble, no noise. All my promotions that I used to get early on, they can't play at our venue anymore because the music's too low. So that's how it used to get run years ago. But they can't play there because the music's not loud enough. So I've had to go to birthday parties and things like that. But it's difficult. So I just need a bit of help. If I can get an extra hour, that'll help.
I'm going to confess, I'm sure I've sat in this position before and you applied. What were you applying for last time? Was that an extension of hours?
Yes, for tens. That
was tens, was it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll pass it over to my colleagues if they want to ask some questions.
Hello, Mr. Webster.
Hi.
What exactly do you think you will achieve by extending your licence by just an hour on the days that you've stated?
Well, I won't be open. I'm not just going to open until late. I'm running a bit.
You just make the red light have to come on.
Right. So I'm not going to actually be opening all the time. I'm not just going to open late all the time. It's just going to be, instead of getting tens, I can pick and choose a bit more. If there's boxing events on and that, I won't get any trade. So I'll stay open later them nights. Because then I might entice some of the people in. Because the pubs go later when the boxing shows are on and things like that. But it won't be I'm not going to be staying there later like all the time, it's just periodically.
Would it then not be better for you to apply for a temporary licence on the occasions where if there is a big sporting event, obviously that's going to be advertised weeks in advance, which would give you enough time to apply for a temporary licence to extend the hours, rather than having a blanket extension as you're applying for now?
No, because sometimes I will be open later. If I've got a good crowd in, I'll be open later. So I'll need that extra hour.
And the impact on the residents in the vicinity, have you thought about that?
Yes, yeah, I've done that. I've got all the people above me, they all got my number. Obviously, people across the road, they can't hear the music anyway. So, I've thought about everything, yeah. And I think I've done as much as I can possibly
Thank you.
do.
Thank you. Not so much of a question for me, really. I just think it's obviously important to state that the position we're in is to look at this and the effect it will have on the community. Obviously, I completely sympathise with the difficulties of running a business and the profitability and everything else, but unfortunately that isn't our responsibility to ensure that the business is profitable and everything else. We need to look at it and see whether the changes are justifiable. And my concern is more around staying open later than when people then leave, what measures are in place to sort of disperse those people so that they're not disturbing local residents once they've then left your premises? Do you have any mitigation in place to try and assist with that?
Yeah, well, so like we've got the doorman, obviously, to move everyone away. Most of the people now, they ring Uber or Bolt like pre-leaving, so the taxis will be turning up. We've got the local office, cab office, but that shuts at about 12 o'clock. but most people start ringing up the bolt online now and getting away like that.
I'm seeing in the report that the police have suggested that there has been incidents of crime and disorder during your general operating. Can you make us aware of what they were, or?
Not that I know of.
Okay, we'll come to them then afterwards. I was just have we got the police resilience team, is that? Okay, shall we hear theirs? Can I ask you to present your case, then we can obviously... You want to ask some questions? Yes, go ahead.
Can you just clarify this additional hours, 5:30? It's not quite clear from the application what you're seeking. Yes, the general stuff, but then there's specific bank holidays that you're asking to open until 5:30. Can you just clarify what you're seeking there, please?
Yeah, that's not what I'm seeking. What it was, I thought the seasonal thing meant Christmas, bank holidays and things like that. So what I was saying, if Christmas and Boxing Day falls on a Monday, Tuesday, during the week, I'm only licensed till 1. I would want to go till 3 on them days. Like, I'd want an extension for them 3 days, plus bank holidays.
That's not how it read in the application. That's why I just want some sort of clarification.
That was a mistake on my behalf.
So just, can you just clarify so I'm absolutely clear, normal working week, what are you seeking? And then on Christmas Day, bank holidays, what are you seeking? So I just want to be absolutely clear, please.
If it falls during the weekday, an extension of 2 hours. So normally a Christmas party would, let me explain it right, hold on. New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve, I would want an extension for 2 hours. If it was during the week, because we'd only normally be licensed till 1. So it'd be till 3. That's all I was asking there.
But you have already additional hours enshrined in the Act on bank holidays. So if your normal closing time is 1 a.m. and a bank holiday falls, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, you get an additional hour without any additionality requests.
I didn't know that. So I did notice saying that people in the letter that says I could serve till 2:30. That's not right, is it? It's not what my licence says, is it? I didn't know that.
I think it might be easier if we just make our Essex Police position.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, hi Chair. So Essex Police have objected to this application due to having concerns that the following licensing objectives will be undermined if the application is granted, which is the prevention of crime and disorder and prevention of public nuisance. Essex Police are concerned regarding dispersal due to local transport being seriously reduced, / non-existent, at 0300 hours. This would leave customers under the influence of alcohol remaining within the town centre with no viable means to leave the area. It is Essex Police's experience that this will lead to increased antisocial behaviour and calls relating to crime and disorder. Customers could become frustrated by not being able to disperse the area in a timely manner, and this could lead to heated moments between them and thus relating to noise complaints and crime. By increasing the time the premises can sell alcohol, customers will be able to drink later which will likely increase the chances of crime and disorder occurring due to people having more time to become intoxicated. Essex Police have concerns that the additional times place the venue out of kilter with other licensed premises within the vicinity, which in turn will make it a target/destination venue. The premises has never operated past 0300 hours, only via 10, which has always been for private hire, such as birthday parties, and not open to members of the public. That is Essex Police's opening statement. Thank you.
Can I just ask, you have put on the report that there has been instances of crime and disorder. Have you got any record of those?
I do, and without going through my system to find the exact date, but I know I think it was June time, there was a fight outside of the premises in which a female was assaulted. And yeah, there was sort of large congregations, so that was the main incident that I was mentioning.
Mr Webster, do you want to answer any of those, or do you want to put your case again with their objections?
Yeah, there wasn't an incident outside the club where anyone got assaulted. Just thought I'd let you know that. And normally, time I lock up, drive round the front, everyone's getting in cabs going. So, and when I do have the later licences, it's even easier to get half the people have gone by 2:30, and then there's only half the people left there. It's even easier to get people away from the area because half the club are already gone by 2:30.
Okay. Does anybody? Environmental services. Would you like to add to the discussion, please?
So basically, Community Resilience Team, we will consider licensing applications determining the impact of noise on any local residents, and any representation we make is under the licensing objective, the prevention of public nuisance. We have previously served the Pink Zebra with a noise abatement notice on the grounds of loud music. That notice remains in force to this date. We have previously as well taken action against the premises for 2 breaches of this noise abatement notice. So naturally, we have concern with any extension of the hours. The hours that they are currently seeking until 3:15 on a Friday and Saturday, our concern is not only with the noise when the premises is open. However, it is also with the noise that is generated once the premises has closed. That is people leaving the area. That is the arrival of vehicles that can be playing music. There can naturally be people that will be congregating in the area if they're unable to get their transport home. On a Friday and Saturday, that could actually leave residents suffering a nuisance from this noise until beyond 4 o'clock in the morning, which we do not deem to be acceptable. On a Sunday, the hours requested until 2:30 a.m. Again, our concern is the noise that is generated once the premises is closed. So they may lock their doors, but there's still going to be noise. There's still going to be people in the area. They're going to be talking at a louder volume. They've been in a premises with music playing. Ultimately, when people come out, they kind of have inside voices, shall we say. They haven't reduced their level of voice. So our concern is that there is still going to be noise, there is still going to be vehicles arriving, the beeping of horns, etc. And on a Sunday until 2:30, what that could mean is that people are disturbed by noise beyond 3 o'clock in the morning, when people are getting up in the morning on a Monday morning for work, for school, and we don't deem the impact of that to be acceptable. We did have concern, obviously, with the seasonal variation, which has been highlighted, because the way it was stated in the application is that an additional 2 hours could mean on a Friday and Saturday they could be open until 5:15 a.m, which, again, we do not deem to be acceptable. Our concern is, I think, as the police have also stated, there are no premises within the vicinity that are open until these hours. So it will become a destination venue. When people have been drinking alcohol at another premises. Naturally, what they then may do is leave that premises when that closes and then move on to the Pink Zebra. It's generating more footfall to the area, which currently there isn't. We also do have concern in the knock-on impact that it can have, because ultimately what we can have is then a lot of premises that are all deciding that they want to go for these hours. So we could have a lot of premises within a small area that are then seeking hours to this, which is, I mean, from our perspective, all we can see is the negative impact that this is going to have on any local residents when we already have had previous issues in terms of noise, and we don't deem that any extension of the hours is actually going to do anything but cause more noise to people.
Thank you. If I could just ask about the noise abatement order. So there's currently one in existence, so can you just explain what that effect does or whether there's a way out of that?
Okay, so basically the noise abatement notice was served back in 2022, and that was on the grounds of loud music. The reason that was served is because I personally was in the area, and from being in a neighbouring property, I witnessed the vibration of the music from going through to somebody's property. I could hear the words clearly, word for word, of a song. My concern is obviously that somebody is trying to sleep. They can't sleep with any music like that. Ultimately, once we are satisfied that a statutory nuisance is occurring, we're legally obliged to serve a noise abatement notice. We served the noise abatement notice, and it's served on anyone that has an interest in the premises. We did then have to take action against the premises because we had evidence for 2 successive breaches of the noise abatement notice, again, whereby being in a neighbouring property in the early hours of the morning, officers were able to hear the song's word perfect, and it was the bass that is the main issue. There was the vibrating going through the floor. So yeah, the noise abatement notice, it remains in force whilst these people are at the premises. So again, any instance of loud music, we would be likely to take action.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Webster, would you like to have any comment on any of what's been said?
Yeah, I think we dealt with I've got an acoustics man, a specialist in, set the music correctly, so it's legal, and we haven't had no problems ever since.
What I would say in terms of that is, yes, my understanding is that currently there is a noise limiter that is in force at the premises. I would like to say, as part of this representation, what I have also said as well is that if members are minded to grant any extension to the hours, we would like a condition whereby we set the noise limiter. I did contact Mr. Webster on receipt of this application, in basically with concerns with the noise limiter. The response I got was that a professional person had set it, which doesn't actually allay any of my fears at all. Without knowing the person that has set it, without knowing their qualifications and their expertise in the matter, we will naturally have concern.
Mr. Webster, I'll give you a chance to respond to that.
Have you had any complaints about the music?
There have been complaints on and off about the music. I'm not going to sit here and say that we get complaints every single week because that wouldn't be correct. However, the issue in terms of loud music never goes away completely.
Can I ask you, Mr. Webster, should, hypothetically, the conditions be allowed, would you accept that the council come in and set your limiter?
Well, I'm in communication with all the tenants above. If there's any problem, they call me. They never call me.
Would you accept the council coming in and setting your limiter?
I'm not getting no complaints. So I don't really want the council to come in and set.
If that is a condition that we apply,
I don't really want the
accept?
council coming in and to do it. They can come in and look at my system and I'll show them how loud it is. It's not loud.
Would you accept the council coming in? Yes or no?
They can come and look at the system and tell me if it's up to scratch, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You may.
I do understand when you say that the people that live above you have got your phone number. With all due respect, I wouldn't say that that is a satisfactory method in terms of controlling noise, because I don't see that it should be viable that somebody has to phone you to ask you to turn the music down. That is why we request that we set the noise limiter, because we are then satisfied with any level that has been set. I can understand your concerns with that. My concern is that in terms of securing against a noise nuisance, it shouldn't be left to chance that somebody will phone you.
It's not left to chance. They don't phone me. It's just they've got my number if they need it. No one's rung me.
Okay. Give the opportunity to anybody else who wants to either ask a question or put something relevant. Feel free.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify a point. I know you asked the question about when that incident was, and that I mentioned in the bundle. So it was we had 2 calls made to Essex Police on the 2nd of June, and the first one being at 2:28 in the morning. And it was a group of girls that were fighting outside of the premises. There was 30 to 40 people outside. There was mention of a knife, although supposedly they had left. And then we had another call shortly after that stating that a female had been assaulted.
Lovely, thank you.
Sorry, could I just have what time that was? What 2:28?
So the
2:28,
first-
so how long was that after it had closed?
Oh, the day, so it would have been, so this was Sunday the 2nd of June, and it was the first call come through at 02:28.
Thank you.
So I was just trying to look at the times. Okay. Mr. Webster, we're going to go into private session and have a discussion. Oh, sorry. All right. Sorry, got that one. Closing statements. Would you like to sum up what's been said or what your arguments are? Just keep it to summing up rather than anything new.
Yeah, I mean, if that extra hour is going to help my business, I'll be able to keep people employed in the area, DJs, bar staff. Whereas if it isn't, I don't think I'll be open after Christmas. So that's all I can really say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There you go. And would you like to sum up?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, please, that if the licensing subcommittee did agree to the application, then please could the conditions stated in our bundle 2.0, the outcome sought, could those conditions potentially be added, please, as Essex Police feel that if the application was granted, that these would help prevent crime and disorder and public nuisance. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we are going to go into private session to discuss this. If I can ask all members of the gallery to leave while we have this discussion. Thank you. Oh, I am. It's my surname. All got by name, not by age. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the Licensing Subcommittee considered an application for a premise licence for Pink Zebra, 6 to 7 Foxes Parade, Sturtson Road, Waltham Abbey, Essex, EN9 1PH, in accordance with the details starting on page 2 of the agenda. The representations in support and against the application have been taken into account, and we have considered what is appropriate to promote the 4 licensing objectives and relevant parts of the Council's licensing policy and government guidance. During our deliberation in private session, no issues of law or policy arose, and so the subcommittee was not required to call on officers for advice. The committee noted all of the submissions and representations, both oral and written, made in relation to this application. The decision of this subcommittee is that the application for a premise licence in the respect of Pink Zebra be refused. I will now outline the reasons for the subcommittee's refusal of this application in relation to the licensing objectives. The prevention of crime and disorder. The application has failed to the applicant has failed to demonstrate to the subcommittee in relation to public safety, in relation to the prevention of public nuisance. The applicant has failed to provide sufficient information to satisfy the subcommittee of the mitigation measures for the prevention of public nuisance regarding noise disturbance to local residents. We are in agreement with the submissions from the Essex Police and the Environmental Services. The applicant and the persons who have made representations are reminded of their right to appeal to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days of the date of the written notification of this decision. Thank you.